So how long should employee training be? By the end of this video, you're not only going to know how long employee training should be, but also what should go in that employee training that is most effective so that we can run and grow the business with or without us by empowering other people. Employee training can feel a little bit like that road trip you're on with your family. Your kids kept going, "Hey, are we there yet?" You're like, "Stop, just over the next hill, 5 more minutes," right? And so we sort of feel this impatience with the idea of training because it feels more like a nice to have more than a need to have. Then we just get exasperated and go, can't they just figure this stuff out on their own? I mean, I did it by myself. Why can't they do it by themselves? Well, we know that's a myth. And so we're going to punch that in the mouth and we're going to do something that matters in order to build a great training program in the right amount of time. You know, a question that we ask all the time is, what do great sports teams and military commands have in common? If they're not playing a game or fighting a battle, they are training. They're in drills, they're repetition, predictability, so that when they get in the moment, they have meaning for their mission of what they're trying to accomplish. I want to look at that word training. I actually am a bit of a word junkie. I kind of like words. I don't do it a ton because I don't want to wear you out, but I think this one's important. So that word train literally means a lead. So think of a horse when you're on the horse and they've got leads coming down that you hold on to and you tell them where to go and where to turn and all of that. That's what training is. It's kind of like this lead that comes down so that we can help guide our team in decisions they need to be making, whether we're there or not. So when you think of that lead idea, and we've got sort of this lead on the team to make it go, we start to ask ourselves, not only are we influencing them, that's what it means to lead, but then the question becomes, how do we want to influence them and where do we want them to go through this entire process? So if we dove into the specific question, how long do you want employee training to be? I'm going to give you some very specific answers. Number one, if you're thinking about in terms of the actual time amount spent, I want you to think of it in 3 variations. Number one is about 2 to 5 minutes. So anything that's just a quick process, maybe you're training on an element in your handbook or something like that, I want you to think in terms of 2 to 5 minutes. How can I get this accomplished and brought across in 2 to 5 minutes? In fact, some of you will do screen share recording, so literally a piece of software on your computer that you screen share. And there's one particular company that allows you a free version up to 4 minutes. And we tell people, don't go beyond the free version, because it forces you to train in under 4 minutes when you're able to do that. And so if you can create that training in short little bits, and if it's longer than 4 or 5 minutes, you may even want to consider going in 2 or 3 segments of that, just so that you can get it across. So when you think through each individual task, think in terms of 2 to 5 minutes. Then when you think of times that you're actually having team communication, think no more than an hour. No team meeting, departmental meeting, executive meeting should go longer than 1 hour. Well, that's not realistic. I mean, sometimes we meet for 3 or 4 hours. I know. That's why you get frustrated. And that's why you think all meetings stink. And that's why you don't want to meet. And that's why you come to people like us and say things like, man, it's death by meetings. Yeah, because your meeting leads to death. You don't get anything done and you don't follow up. So instead, put an artificial timer on your meeting. Manufacture it. You're the one in charge of the meeting, and if you don't get everything accomplished within the hour, do it again next week and try to do better. Now, the third variation of this is I want you to think in terms of days, weeks, months, and quarters. All right? Days, weeks, months, or quarters. So individually, you're training 2 to 5 minutes. See what you can get done on one topic at a time. 2 minutes here on this topic, 3 minutes on this topic. We put it in our team meeting agenda, and then every day, is there something we should be training on? If you think that's too frequent, that's okay. No less than 1 week, though. Every week, you should be training on something within each system of the business. Now, every business is based on 4 foundational cornerstones: purpose, people, process, and profit. Within those 4 foundational cornerstones, within the process vertical, every business has 4 core systems: marketing, sales, ops, and admin. And within those 4 systems, you have hundreds of processes, little processes like how to run bookkeeping, how to run accounting, how to run a permit pull, how to do all of these variety of different things. Well, within that, we need to be training on those regularly. So in the team meeting, once a week, you do 1 item from your marketing training, 1 item from your sales training, 1 from ops, 1 from admin training, and each item should take no more than, remember, 2 to 5 minutes. So we see how this is building on each other. Each item takes 2 to 5 minutes. You do 1 item a week per system, marketing, sales, ops, and admin, and then you do it every single week. And then once a month, you have a big push, like maybe a vision review, where you review your vision all together. And then once a quarter, you may do a budget review or something big at that point. So I want you to think in terms of each individual process takes 2 to 5 minutes. From there, you want to repeat that every single week. And then for big macro stuff, you want to do no less than once a month or once a quarter. Let me give you a short answer though for all of this. You are the chief training officer of your business. If you're the business owner, you're the one that's in charge. Does that mean you need to train everything in your business? Absolutely not. But you are the one that's the single point of accountability to make sure that training is not only happening, but it's happening within the 4 systems of the business and across the 4 foundational cornerstones of that business. We want to have training on purpose, training on people, training on process, and training on profit, or the money side of the business. The truth is, if you're not in charge of the training, nobody else will be either. You can't outsource the responsibility that training gets done on your team. Remember, you're leading people. That's what it means, like a horse lead around a bridle of a horse to influence the direction of the team of where you're going. And if you're not going to take responsibility, it's not going to get done. I want you to take a deeper dive into this. I have created a great video because if you want to create long-term training for your team, the best place to start is when they become new employees. I've created, if you click on the link below, a great video training that will walk you through actionable items on how to train a new employee. My name's Scott Beebe. We work with business owners between 3 and 100 employees to build out their purpose, their people, their process, and their profit, all for the purpose of liberating you from chaos to make time for the things that matter most.